All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. F. Scott Feil, and I get to do something really cool today that doesn't happen very often. I'm actually doing an in-person interview. Most of these are done through Zoom. It's fine. It brings us together, but nothing is cooler than being in the place with the person you're interviewing. Today, I have the pleasure to get to interview Kolton Krottinger. Kolton, how the hell are you, man?
I'm good, man. It's been a long time coming.
I know. I feel like I've known you for
Yeah, I
years, and
know.
this is the first time we've actually met in person,
Yeah.
which is remarkable. But tell us a little bit about your journey and how it's led you to where you're at today.
So I did 4 years in the Navy and I had, my own little traumatic experiences and I got out and I ended up living in a homeless shelter and I couldn't get a job. My anxiety was so bad that I couldn't drive a car, I couldn't go into gas stations, I couldn't do anything. And I just started writing about anxiety and then I had friends reaching out to me and they were asking me like different, things that I'm trying to do for my own anxiety. And so I kind of got tired of saying the same thing over and over. So like I made like a little PDF and then it grew and it grew. And then eventually I had a book and I tried to get it published and nobody would publish it. So I self-published on Amazon, became a bestseller, and then started our Facebook group. And we've got over 50,000 people in it now. And I've just kind of since then dedicated my life towards mental health. And this was the book. And then this was the book that I wrote. And then from there, like to get more people into our, I'll call it the ecosystem, the
Yeah.
anxiety hacker ecosystem. I had this little 30-day planner we were just giving away for free. So
Yeah, I love the 30-day planner because I deal with ADHD, and so if I don't see a plan and see it mapped out and write it
mhm.
down physically, I struggle. I
Yeah.
lose all sorts of focus, and that's where things get crazy for me. It's just not, being able to visualize the path and the
Hmm.
plan. So tell us a little bit then about where we're at today. Where are we physically located and what is going on here? Because it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. I never would have thought in a million years like we'd kind of end up here where it is today because it just, like I said, it just started off as a book and the planner and the online community is really cool, but I felt like there was something missing and it wasn't. I wanted something more physical interactions. And so I wanted to have like a little campground where we could have some people dealing with some mental health stuff just kind of come together. And I tell people I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I barely finished high school. Uh, all I'm doing was sharing what I've done, and it happens to help people. So got this 22 acres here we're sitting on, surrounded by a river. It's just beautiful. And one day on the drive out here, I kind of decided like, hey, I think I want to sell my home. So it was weird. Like I come out here for the camp stuff
Mhm.
and then driving back home, my dream home there in the colony, it wasn't feeling like home anymore. And
Yeah,
so
that
that's
place is some show up there.
yeah. And so knowing like once I get home and I wasn't really happy there, like it was just kind of I knew I needed to sell and build. And so currently we're sitting in I guess the beginning phases, but we've got a 5,300 square foot pad here, and then we're gonna go the second story. So this will be over 10,000 square foot when it's all said and done. We got men's and women's restrooms. We'll have offices for therapists, like real therapists, not
Yeah.
me, and counselors and all that good stuff. And we'll have an event space, a stage, and so you bring people together, hang out, have an event, and then go kayaking, fishing, swimming, camping, whatever you want to do.
So literally like a mental health retreat,
Yeah.
body, mind, and soul.
Hmm.
Come out here to God's country and just enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah. And pretty much what's like directing this whole thing is like I'm really just building. I mean, since the book and then all the way till today, I'm just trying to build something that I wish that I had
Yeah.
whenever I was
Yeah.
really suffering. And so I'm trying to make it all in one place. Like, so there's like the mental health retreat, but also I watched a lot of like Rob Deerdeck. Have you seen the
Yeah.
Fantasy Factory?
Yeah.
He just had this giant warehouse and he was just able to do this and this and this. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do here. So we've got plenty of room to where if we do come up with another idea, or like, hey, this would be great, we've got a building big enough to do it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, man. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with my business. Like when I went through PT school, right? It was a master's program, and internet and technology was just kind of coming up, and it's like, yeah, we used it a little bit, but there wasn't a business coaching. There wasn't,
mhm.
the online businesses. There wasn't all this stuff available and learning from who you wanted to learn from, how to get there, like mentorship and all that stuff. So I wish that I had the stuff that I'm doing now back then. And that's just how I'm guiding my business. Same kind of thing. It's like, man, I wish I had this. And then I'll just create it.
Yeah,
Man, I wish I knew that.
yeah.
I'll just create it, and I think that's a really smart way to approach it, because again, like I said, you don't have to necessarily have all these credentials. You
Hmm.
just have to have the lived experiences,
Yeah.
and your life experiences can then help others and inform others like, hey, this doesn't work for everybody, but this is what worked for me.
Hmm.
Try this. And if not, let's get you to someone else that can maybe help. Like,
Yep.
you have all these options here now. So it's amazing. And watching the journey, like literally from scratch, has been, I just, it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
Like, I
because
cannot believe how far you've come.
yeah, you've been part of the journey since day one. I feel like.
It, it,
I mean, it was
yeah. I
even
mean, it's a
like
long time now.
even like whenever we had our little anxiety hacker bracelets and giving them away, and then people started getting the logo tattooed on
Mhm.
them, and like, so I never thought that I would get, the logo tattooed on me, but after so many people did, like, I was like, I'm gonna do it too. So,
Yeah.
um, so those are the anxiety hacker tattoo here, and then this is the campground. So this is the tattoo. This is the logo for this
Yeah.
ranch here. So it's just a constant reminder, like what I'm working on every day. So.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, tell us a little bit. You kind of alluded to it, but like, what is your big vision? Like, what do you see? Like, and again, I think with business and entrepreneurship and like helping people and like your mission, your value, like there's never really an end to that. It's you
Right.
just keep playing the game and getting better and better and giving more and more and more until you feel like happy and fulfilled and
Hmm.
you're doing the thing you want to do, right? And you're on that path.
Yeah.
What do you see as like the big vision then? What is the end game, so to speak?
I'm doing a lot of trial and error here for
Yeah.
sure, as you do whenever you're building something, but I can see replicating this. So I can put together the model and like really just give to somebody else and like, hey, here's what I'm doing. You should do the same thing. So I'm not gonna have any secrets here. Like anything I'm doing, I'll share with anybody that
Yeah.
wants to do something like this. So
It's awesome.
you just need a little bit of land and a lot of imagination.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I think you've done a pretty phenomenal job with that. What kind of tips or tricks or pointers or learned lessons do you have to share with somebody that has this vision or this drive to want to do more and be more? If they're getting ready to start things up, like what do you recommend?
I mean, not surround yourself with the right people for sure, but it's hard to picture like whenever it's just you alone and you don't have the money or the resources or the people. It's hard to picture, the like kind of like the end result. Like I would have never imagined. Like now I've got therapists and counselors reaching out to me. They'll come in here and meet with anybody at any time, free of charge, and that's just something that I would have never imagined. It's not something that I could even get myself whenever I needed a therapist or a counselor. So it's hard to picture, but just try to you gotta, like, almost go back to, like, a childlike state, and, like, that's what I do, like, because remember whenever we were, like, kids, we had dreams, we wanted to be an astronaut or the president or that, like, you almost have to have that childlike imagination because we start to lose it, I think, as we start seeing, like, how crappy the real world is and bills and this and that, but it just imagine it, put it down, I write everything down, I'm big into vision boards, and all you gotta do is get that one person to believe in you, and then keep them believing, then get the next one, and then after, a while, you'll just have people really helping you, so now it's at this point, it's like a snowball, you just roll it at the top of the hill, and it'll get bigger and bigger, because at this point, it's not me, it's so many people helping out, so many people donating their time, effort, money, whatever, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's super important because the thing that we forget about a lot with childlike stuff is like the curiosity and the
Mm-hmm.
wonder and the things that keep you thinking and asking good questions.
Mm-hmm.
We need to play. That's
Yeah.
when we play, that's how we learn, that's how we figure things
Mm-hmm.
out. So that childlike wonderment is like, it's so necessary. And I think, for me, the good part was like I was an English major before I became a PT. So like, I'm always thinking differently than the
Mm-hmm.
normal medical profession. It's weird to me. So I think differently. I ask different questions, and that curiosity, that genuine, like, hey, I don't know this stuff, so I'm asking questions to learn about it. That's how I've just figured everything out. It's just by asking better questions, staying curious,
Yeah.
being more childlike. I love that. Well, I love what you're doing, not only for the veteran community, but for all mental health
Mm-hmm.
folks, really. Tell us a little bit about where people can find you, where they can reach out to you, where they can, learn about all the great things you're doing here.
Yeah, mostly Facebook. I mean, Facebook's like my main thing, so just Kolton. And then Krottinger, Krottinger. I'm pretty easy to find. Shoot me a message, you know, comment on any of my stuff, and then I'll see you, you know. So
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes so it's easy to find for everybody. Kolton, thank you so much for everything you're
absolutely.
doing, man. And
No,
I
thank
just
you.
can't wait to see what the future brings and hope to be a part of it, man.
Absolutely. I'd love that.